Wow, that sun is bright. Welcome back. Today's episode, first episode in a long time, I know. I haven't been posting a lot of stuff because I haven't had a lot of stuff to make content with. But now I got something pretty big. And pretty depressing, pretty sad. But it's alright. All good things come to an end eventually. And I guess let's just get right into it. So, March-ish. Yeah. February, March-ish, kind of around that area. I rolled my truck. And as you can tell, it is pretty torn down, pretty much gutted already. The only thing left I need to take off of this sucker is engine and transmission. That's getting yanked out. I yanked out the fuse panel and a bunch of other little wiring goodies. Taking the steering gearbox, as you guys saw in a previous episode, I put a new one in. All this stuff's coming out. I already got the snorkel off of it, obviously the light bar, pod lights, gas tank, rear door, all kinds of stuff else. Like all that stuff's coming out. Interior, like I said, is gutted. I got most of the stuff I needed out of it, body panels, ECU, transmission, ECU, whatever. This is just all the junk that was broken inside. As you can see, the roof is pretty much collapsed and destroyed, and that's it. I already took a high lift jack and actually opened this up. This used to be about down here. Just like all this was completely, crushed in. Yeah, so it's pretty much a mess. There's a couple things I need to steal out of here still. Like I need to take that net. I got all the sound system stuff out. Fortunately, my super nice sound deadening, I can't take that. As much as I wanted to, I can't, because before, tin can, wood door. But we got it hoisted up in the air on some chains. I ripped the rear end out of this one. This was the good one with the LSD, so I put it in my new one over there, so you guys will see in just a second. We're going to take out the gas tank, use the gas tank to put in my dad's cruiser as an external tank where his spare tire goes. And I sold the rear end out of the new one to a buddy of mine. He needed one. Like I said, this one, motor, transmission, transfer case, everything like that's coming out. As far as the front suspension, I already stole all the lift kit parts and fancy tidbits. So she's almost ready to go to the scrapyard. I am going to take that window out just as a memory because it's a bunch of stickers that I've been working on pretty hard. And yeah, it's coming along slowly, I guess. It's been a 4 or 5 month process that I've been working on tearing this sucker apart and building the new one. Which, if you guys follow our, where is it at? It's over here somewhere. If you guys follow that Instagram right there, you'll see the progression and the build on the new one. Let's go take a look at the new one and see what all we have left to do and what all we're going to start doing. New, old, whatever. I also need to take that tail light. I almost forgot in the light. Now we get to the clone. Same exact year, same make, obviously, model, whole nines, Trooper. Same trim package, color, whole shebang. It's identical. Engine, transmission, gear ratios, all of it. The only thing I've done different on this particular build, obviously, is going to be the wiring. I had a very long time to take apart every little bit. I had to pull the interior and the dashboard because I needed to swap out the heater core. But all of the interior wiring as far as accessories goes and exterior lighting, solar panels, all that stuff has been routed super nice with all the factory harnesses, loomed, zip tied up, out of the way. You don't see anything from the inside, as well as in here. So the light bar, these pods, and the transmission cooler are all wired into the factory fuse panel with factory relays. I went through and took a whole bunch of time. Find the thing to open the hood. Took a whole bunch of time and pulled it apart, repinned it. So from in here, other than the giant freaking battery and all my terminals and cables and everything running everywhere, all the wiring is still inside the factory fuse box. So I have, one extra relay right there and a spare just in case something blows out. But other than that relay right there, everything else is internal. Completely looks OEM, looks stock. So I don't have a million freaking wires running around everywhere. Other than obviously the few things that are supposed to penetrate through the firewall, which has all been, new holes have been drilled and grommeted and everything is all sealed up, watertight. I have to hook up my RGB lights still for the rock lights. That's another project on its own. What else do I need to finish hooking up? Sound system, cable, power cable. I have not installed the sub box just yet, so this is just kind of chilling here for the time being. And my secondary battery will get hooked up to that one as well. I've also installed the high lift jack on the front. That's a nice little touch because before, in the position that I had it, it just made it super hard to get it out and access it whenever I needed it. Not that I ever really needed it, but whenever I do need it, it was a pain in the butt. So now it's here. It's just on these giant wing nuts. That doesn't go anywhere. It's super nice. It doesn't really obstruct the view that much because obviously I put the lifting jack portion on the passenger side because passenger doesn't need to see in the front. I mounted my winch controller finally, and then like I said, I have power steering cooler, and then I went ahead and installed a giant, or that's the transmission cooler, this is the power steering cooler, so I swapped those around. I put the snorkel back on, the one that was rolled, so you can see it's all scuffed up and not happy. Reuse my original mounts that I made for the bar as well as the original bar. That didn't get messed up. Put new limb risers on it. The bumper is still the same bumpers. You can see it took a nice beating everywhere. All in the front from the roll. This portion right here did get pushed in, so as you can see it doesn't really line up. I'm pretty sure I can take a come along or a winch or something and hook it in right here somewhere and actually pull that back out, and it'll be fine. But I don't see exactly where it bent, so I don't know, maybe it just shifted on the mounts. I don't know. I don't want to mess with it entirely because it's okay enough for me. I'm not too upset about it. I also installed my sliders. So these are Rocky Road Outfitter sliders. I put these on before I rolled it as well, so I took them off. I've already used them quite a bit. As you can see, this giant gash right here. I had to trim my fenders, poke them through the factory mud flaps and everything. You can't really tell, but I beat this in just a little bit and I still have clearance issues. I made some aluminum dust shields, mud splash guards, whatever you want to call them, that'll kind of help keep my alternator protected a little bit better than the plastic ones that it came with, or rubber ones rather. Reuse the pod lights. I had to readjust these mounts because they were all bent and tweaked. Now the solar panels up top, one of them got crushed pretty bad, but it still works. Both of them still work, and they are hooked up with a giant bulkhead back here that penetrates into the body. And then I also added in more roof rack mounts over here on top of the awning and the GMRS antenna. This one also has a sunroof. I forgot to mention that. Factory one did not, so I had to pull the roof rails off the factory one, or the original one, and install it back. What else have I done differently? These giant trailing arms, lower control arms, rear end links, whatever. Both the lower and the uppers, 3-piece set with giant heim joints. I put those on. Also got my skid plates painted That one's the American flag, which is pretty cool in my opinion. It's already scuffed up a little bit. Being that this was a West Coast truck, there was absolutely no rust on it anywhere. It is super mint. Very nice. And it was very nice working on it because it wasn't muddy. I got the independent 4x4 torsion bars, and that skid plate took a beating, and I didn't have a bolt in there because I was missing one, so I need to fix that. 2-inch diff drop is already in place. You can see those there, the red bits, and then you can see the spacer on it. I do have upgraded steering links out of F-150, I think. And then the control arms have been serviced, so it's all new bushings, upper and lower, new ball joints, upper and lower. I have now solid, I don't know if I can find a spot that you can see. Okay. Back in there, I have solid polyurethane bushings for the front differential, which will make it a lot stronger because before my front diff would blow the mounts out for some reason. So you imagine the diff's in here like that, and then my elbows or my arms or whatever are the CV axles. So whenever I would get into a flexy situation, say driver's side would kick up real hard, it would cause the diff to push over and up, and it would bind up my CV axle really bad. And it caused me to either snap them, or the diff would make all kinds of noise, just a whole bunch of problems. So by putting in those solid or polyurethane bushings, they're a lot stronger. They don't flex nearly as much, hardly anything, as the original rubber bushings did. So the diff doesn't move, the CV axles don't get bound up, and the front end runs a lot smoother now. Other than with the down travel on the 2-inch drop, the CV axles get pushed in too far and I tear my boots, which I have a solution for that. I just haven't implemented on this one yet. I forgot at that time. I was kind of in a rush getting it together. The interior is the exact same as the original one. I still have my GPS mount. I went ahead and put in the front component speakers, the CB radio, the GMRS, my compass / thermometer / altimeter thing, a bunch of other little goodies like my external speaker for the CB antennas or CB radios mounted down there flush in the dash. The back, I've installed a couple handles everywhere that it didn't come with. I still need to put that one on. I put these two on, ran all my wiring for the light bar down the A-pillar, which eventually I'm going to put a dual gauge cluster right there with the transmission temperature gauge and all that stuff, just so I can kind of monitor that a little more closely. I do have the back kind of decked out already with the compartments and then the shovel and the axe, soft shackles, my air down tool. Still kind of full of all my camping gear from the last trip I just took it on. Of course, I got my hammer, paper towels, tow strap, a couple other things, and then, like I said, the power cable for my system, and the RCA jacks, and everything else is over there. The awning is still the same ARB 8x8 awning. So that thing is an absolute unit. That is a new one. The old one kind of got messed up. Not terrible, still functions and everything, but they got beat up. So yeah, it's as you can see, you're looking at a reflection here. This sucker is clean, super clean. Like I said, Arizona truck has 226,000 miles on the clock there. She runs great, fires right up. Unfortunately, this motor has that notorious tick, which they all have it. But I mean, look how clean this sucker is. What more can you ask for 226,000 miles? I'm the third owner of this truck. I have all the original paperwork for who bought it. It was sold in California, then made its way to Arizona, and then now it's here in the glorious wet state where it's going to start to rust, Tennessee. But other than that, this is the new rig. I hope to make more videos on it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little walk around. I know it's kind of boring and not as cool as the other videos I posted, but there's definitely going to be a lot more content and videos coming just on this one alone, as well as with my dad's cruiser and all the other off-road hijinks, family and all that. We're going to be taking this one around the same way we did the other one. It's going to make its way to some car shows this year because it is such a clean truck, and we do go out and tear them up. And I want people to know you can take nice trucks out, keep them nice. You don't have to be a mall crawler, unlike that one. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below what you want to see me do to this one. I have a couple things in mind other than what I've already done on the old one that I want to do to this one. I want to make this one kind of the second version, but way, way better. I'm going to do a lot of things different and take my time on most of it, or all of it actually. And yeah, it's just going to be the best trooper there is. If you want to know more about it, comment and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for all the future videos to come. I hope you guys are excited because I'm definitely excited. See you later.